Okay, let's continue with our next topic then for the hands-on session for the workflow configuration. These are the topic areas that we'll be covering today. We have ahead a lot of other configurations as well, but let's first focus on the portal navigation and the other options which are available in the portal. How do we access the UWL to take actions for the shopping cart, the substitution option, etc. Let me first go to the SRM_02 user ID, and from there I'm trying to create a shopping cart by clicking on the create shopping cart option. Okay, once I do, I will now be checking the old shopping carts, and I'll try to copy a shopping cart from there. So I clicked on old shopping carts from the drop down, and in the time frame I've selected the last 30 days and I'm clicking on search. I copy any of the shopping carts that have been in status approved or awaiting approval, and it picks up the data from me from there. Now what we see here in the details tab is all the entries related to category, the date which is required, the limit value since it's a limit item. We also check the account assignment data, and now we think that all the data is complete. Let's just click on check for the timing, and it says that shopping cart has no errors. Let me again go back and check the approval process overview, and there we see that it is open for decision for SRM user 05. However, I would like to add another user here, so I click on display edit agents and I add another approver below the selected line, which is SRM_10. So I try to search for the same and it gets added. Once it gets added, we click on OK, and now I click on process. So the shopping cart is now placed and I've added an ad hoc approver. Now if I check the display edit agents, I will see that in the approval process overview, let me just close this first and let's come down to the approval process overview. Now we see that it is open for decision from two users, SRM05 and SRM_10. SRM_10. Also determine that the agent determination is now an ad hoc step. The buyer determination is the one which is correctly configured in the system. However, the ad hoc step is the one which we created and made the user manually enter the approver. So generally this is not a very recommended approach, but in case if an approver insists that you also add your current team lead or probably your current manager, in that case you may choose to add an ad hoc approver to complete the review or the approval process. You may add this approver as a reviewer also. So in that case he will not be taking any decision but only be viewing the entire approval process. Okay, so I'll just log off from this again, and we'll simply try to see how the shopping cart is reported in the inbox of the user. So I'll log in from the approver ID, that is the SRM_05, and let's click on inbox for the user. In the supply chain we have inbox, so I clicked on inbox. Also meanwhile we'll try to check for the shopping cart number in the backend to see how the approval process is. Let us first open the shopping cart in the front end. These are the list of all the action items that are pending approval from SRM_05. I'll scroll down to the end because it's generally the latest one gets listed at the end of the inbox entries. So today we have 5623 shopping cart which is being sent to the inbox of the user. When I select the same, it will show me the details here, and I have an option to approve, reject or resubmit. Or I also have an option of assign to me, substitution and others. So what I do here is, I'll first go to the backend and open the shopping cart 5623. By clicking on F8, it opens the line entry for me. double click on the same. Now here I click on the node at the top left corner and then the workflow and the workflow overview. It takes me to the next screen where I should click on display workflow log. There it will show me the entire workflow overview process and the workflow agents. Currently we have SRM_02 as the requester who created the shopping cart, and that's it, there is the workflow system. Now we check the different agent whom the action is pending. You see here the status is ready. We will not check those ones which have a status of in process or completed. We'll only check the status ready, and then we'll check the agents which are responsible for carrying out this action, and from the backend we know that it is SRM user_05. So what I do is I go back to the inbox. Also, let's see this option as substitution. We will click on substitution to check if there are any active substitution rules, and I see that there are 2 substitution rules. Other user can also access my all tasks, and it is on the status ongoing. You may choose to add another rule here where you can choose the assignee, probably SRM_04 or something. Assign what kind of task you want, all, disciplinary, function, confidential, strictly confidential, etc. You may choose that it should activate at once on a specific date, or do not activate the rule now. Then you would go ahead and just activate whenever you feel the need. Also, for the deactivation of this rule you have 2 options. You will never deactivate, or you want after a specific date, that is probably you are out of office for a week's time and you want the start date to be your start date of the vacation and deactivation date to be the deactivation date when you are back. So in that case you will choose the corresponding action, click on OK, and it will set the rule here. So this is how the substitution works. You may also choose to have a substitution option active from the backend also by taking help from the administrator, but SRM7 also offers this version on the portal for the user to be able to do the same on their own. So for this shopping cart, I will now click on approve. Once I click on approve, let me first open the shopping cart for you. This opens up the window which tells us what other options we have if we do not want to approve. You may either reject the same, or there is another option which is called as an inquire, as you see here, where it will go back to the requester and you can add an approval note seeking more information from the user. So in this case, we are currently having the status as approved, so we will submit the same and approve the shopping cart. You may choose to check the details. Most of the details are already shown on the screen here, but still if you want you can go ahead and check the details. Also remember the description of the step, which is complete shopping cart, which means that you may also choose to edit the shopping cart before approving it. So in that case, if you choose to edit, you will click on edit, change the quantity or the price or the currency, and then process the shopping cart by clicking on submit. Totally dependent on how your system is configured and what your business need is. So let's click on submit for the time being. Okay, so the shopping cart has been successfully processed, and you will see that the status is currently awaiting approval still. So let me just again check the approval overview tab to see who is pending the action now. When I click on approval process overview, I see that the user SRM_05 has already taken the action, active, and the SRM_10 is where it is open. It is valid and it can be started now. Let's go back and check the same workflow log and refresh the same. Now I see there is another step which has been added, and once I click on ready again and choose the agents, I will now see SRM user 10 as the reported agent. Okay, I do not want to log in again from the portal through user_10. So for my testing purpose, there is a function module. There is a functionality FWIA transaction, that is the administrator transaction. You should know the workflow ID either, which is available in the BBP_PD screen. Let me show the same to you. As we see here, there is a work item ID number which you can use for your reference. while you log in into SWIA, or if you just manage to create the card or approve the card, it will automatically come to SWIA. So I'll just execute without putting any entries, because it takes up the latest time and creation date as per the system date and time. So I'll click on execute here, and I see the dialog step complete shopping cart 5623 as being reported. This one would be the latest. The rest of all the below would be the ones which have been previously created. So if we see here, we have another entry here. This one would have been for the user SRM_05, which we just took the action for. This is again a dialog step. The next dialog step is the 5623 shopping cart, and this is currently now left with the user SRM_010. However, I will forward the same by administrator forward, that is shift plus F12, and assign the same to the user SRM_10 and click on the check mark to continue. But SRM_10 was the current approver, so I do not want the same to happen. I want it to be assigned to SRM_05. So again the same work icon, and I click on SRM_05 and click on check mark. So again the same shopping cart would be received in the inbox of the user. Let me just click on refresh. And we see here that 5623, although was approved, has still not left the inbox. So we again select the same and click on approve now from the POWL query settings. I clicked on the approve button. Okay. It was in an open window, probably that is why. Let me just try again. By opening the shopping cart. Okay, so I have clicked on submit here, approve here, radio button, and then I'll click on submit. So shopping cart was successfully processed. Let me refresh it, and I see now the status from awaiting approval has changed to approved. Let's click on details, and then on approval process overview. So we would see that there are two steps which have been carried out, but both by user 05. And this user was an agent determination, but this was an ad hoc. Although we had added SRM_10 as a approver, but it has finally been approved by 05. This is because it was forwarded to this user ID by my ID here. So let me just go back and check the same in the backend. Let me scroll up the screen, and now when I click on refresh, it will show me the status as approved instead of awaiting approval, which was the previous status. So let's see now what we understand. We have access to UAWL to take actions for shopping cart. We also check the substitution option. We check the POW options to approve or reject. We know how to approve a shopping cart now, reject or inquire options. How to add an ad hoc approver and reviewer. You check the workflow agent via BVP_PD by clicking on the workflow overview tab. Sorry, workflow overview option on the top left corner of the screen. Okay, backend approval by a function module or forwarding by an administrator. We check this one, forward by an administrator, that is the SWIA transaction. We also want to see the work items by SWI1 and SWI5 and logically delete a shopping cart. So let's focus first on backend approval via function module. Let me create another shopping cart now with the same user. So I click on create shopping cart. And I click on add item, and then the options to choose an old shopping cart. Time frame as the last 30 days, and click on search. Okay, you may click on last 12 months and then click on search. Let's select the same shopping cart which we created and click on OK. Let's check if there are any errors. And shopping cart has no error, so let's process the same. So shopping cart has been successfully processed. Now currently you see it's awaiting approval. Let us open this 5624 in the backend. I go back and click on 5624 and click on F8. Double click to open the cart. Now what we do is we go to the function module S by transaction SE37. All function modules open through the same transaction, that is SE37. Here we will choose the function module BBPD SC status change workflow and click on F8. This basically, here we would enter the workflow GUID, which is the GUID of the shopping cart in this case. So we copy this GUID of the shopping cart and paste the same here. For the value ID status, I will put as 1. These steps are always going to remain the same. In place of ID GUID, we will always place the shopping cart header GUID. In place of ID status, we will always put the value as 1 and press F8. Once we do so, we see that the ED object status is RELS, which means it is successful. Let's click refresh here and you would see that it is now in the status approved. So without doing anything from the back end, I have managed to approve the same from the without doing anything from the front end. I have managed to approve the shopping cart from the back end by carrying out a particular set of steps. So this is generally needed when we are trying to test a scenario or when we are trying to create a scenario and do not want the mid-approval processes to be executed by different user IDs. Instead, we only are interested in checking after approval what does the shopping cart do. So for my testing purpose, I can just go ahead and simply approve the shopping cart by the function module to save time. This is not recommended to be done in production because in production there is always an audit and you would not want to get your company being caught in such instances where the system administrator has managed to approve a few shopping carts and created a purchase order without a proper approval from the different account heads. So this is just for our testing purposes in a development or a quality system. Okay, so we understand now how do we access through the function module, the transaction being SE37, we enter the GUID and the value as 1. Okay, sometimes it so happens that on a portal, inbox, let's open the inbox for this particular user. When we open the inbox, we see a lot of items, but sometimes those items do not belong to the user and they might complain that even though they have taken an action, it does not move out from their inbox. So in that case, what we need to check is whether this is actually present in the backend system in their inbox or not. How do we check that? We go to transaction SWI5 and click on the type as the user ID US and the ID, whatever ID you would want it to process the shopping cart spending for. So currently I am using SRM_05, so I'll put that ID here. I will check on the work items which are to be completed by the user to validate whether the shopping carts which are seen in the user's inbox actually do they belong to the user or not. So I select that and press F8. I see a whole list of shopping cart for completion, 213 entries. When I open this up, I get the different work item IDs. So for each work item ID, I will click on the same. For example, I click on 43078 and I will get the shopping cart number, which is 5614 in this case. Let me go back and you can see the same shopping cart here on the same date. So yes, this entry definitely belongs to the user because from the backend also we can validate. However, in certain cases you will see that the entry is not present in the backend but is present in the portal inbox of the user. In that case, we need a portal refresh. So you should always ask the user to click on the option of refresh. If that doesn't work, the portal administrator should refresh the same so that the data is copied correctly from the backend system. So this could be one of the issues that you face while trying to consult in the SRM landscape. Okay, so we now understand the forward via administrator option, the checking of work items by SWI5. Okay, SWI1 is similar to SWIA except that you do not have all the options of SWIA which you have. So let me see how it works. I again go to the inbox and I'll check on 5614 work item ID. So the work item ID related to 5614 is 43078. I copy that and I choose to go on the transaction SWI1. When I put the same value here and click on F8, I see that the dialog step which we used to assign to different users has come up. But you will also see that there is no option to forward the same now. This is because this is not an administrator transaction, this is only for viewing. So currently we can only see the options to view here. Let's again go to SWIA and see what all we can do with this. So here we have the options to forward. I will currently just click on the same and open on the log. It will open the same screen which comes with the shopping cart. Now let's double click on the complete shopping cart option and go to technical work item display. Here you will see the technical details of the shopping cart, and you also have other options like go to edit and change. So once you do the same, you will come across a screen where you have different options as an administrator to change the work item text, to change the language, priority. You may have an option to logically delete it or complete it manually, forward, execute, or change the deadlines. Let's logically delete it. This is needed when you do not need the shopping cart approver to run. There is no way to stop the shopping cart in between, but only to logically delete it, which means that it will still stay in the backend. However, there would not be any workflow step which would be triggered further for the particular shopping cart. So if I click on execute and if I click on delete, I will see that the option has been deleted now and the status changes to logically deleted. When I again go back to the backend and I refresh, the shopping cart would now vanish from here. As we can see that it just vanished. Let's go back and check on what happened to its workflow. 5614 was the number of the shopping cart. I double click on the same, and we see that it is, although in the status approved, but once you select the node here and click on workflow overview and go to the log, we see that the option here is not ready but logically deleted. Click on agent and you will see there is no agent responsible for it. There can be a possible or an excluded agent, but no relative agent responsible for the taking of this task. This is because it is currently in a logically deleted status. So please pay attention and understand on how these works. You may rewind the section again to be able to understand on these step-by-step scenario on how we carry out the different usage of these different transactions. That is the SWIA for forwarding and also logically deleting the shopping cart. Okay, then we have check work items by SWI1 and SWI5. We just checked that SWI5 can give you the work items responsible user ID wise, and you can go ahead and check the same by taking out the work item ID. You go ahead and put the same in SWI1 and execute the transaction. Then finally we understood how to logically delete a shopping cart. Okay, let's move on further now to our hands-on. We checked how to identify a stuck workflow. We'll logically delete the same. How to force approve from the backend. You will be using a function module through SE37 transaction that we just discussed. Forward to a different ID in case of a leave or absence. If you are the administrator, you can choose to do so from the transaction SWIA. Checking the workflow steps in the process level to debug. We will just be checking the same in our next few slides. Analyze the process level schema definitions. Okay, so below what you can see is the technical settings, the BRF business rule framework settings, configurations that is, and the business process configurations. So these three different set of conditions determine our workflow setup in the system. We'll be checking each of these in details here. Let's move forward. This is the choose workflow. That is the first step in defining the configuration. Okay, let's check the same configuration in the SAP reference IMG. This is the SPRO path, and once I clicked on SAP reference IMG and then the SAP supplier relationship management, SRM server, cross application basic settings, and then the business workflow options. Once we scroll down the screen, you will see the option of business workflow here. Expand the same, and the first option is to select the workflow framework. Once we execute the same, we will see that for object type bus 2121, which is the shopping cart, you have the current settings as process control workflow and an option to choose the application. However, when you click on the same and execute, it will not be allowing you to do so. Why? Because there is no option. Always remember that there is no option to migrate back from a process control workflow to an application control workflow. However, if you are having an application workflow installed in your system, which you have recently migrated to SRM7, but the workflow migrated from an older version, and you did not choose to change your workflow during the upgradation process, you may choose to do that later on as well. So if you choose to do it later on, then you will have an option to change from an application to a process control workflow in this particular config path. Once you select the same, it will change this workflow configuration from an application to a process control workflow. Also, you can check if you are just trying to analyze on what workflow is active in the system, you must go ahead and check in this configuration path. Whatever is the disabled one is the active. So obviously, if you are having a process control workflow, you will only have a active radio button of application control. And if you are having a application control active, then the only option to change from application control is process, so the process control radio button would be active. So you can understand from here what is the active configuration in the system. Okay, so we'll today be discussing all the configuration steps related to process control workflow. These are defined into three criteria, that's the technical configuration, BRF configuration, and business process configuration. I'll take each of these in details. However, exactly on how you should configure the same would depend mostly on the client requirement. So I'll give you a brief overview on the different steps, and I would also try to show each of these in a hands-on experience manner in the system. Let's first check the technical configurations. Customize the business workflow automatically. When we execute this transaction, it will take us to the screen where you will have an option of choosing the automatic workflow customizing. What that does is you click on the red button here, it will make everything that you see here, that is maintain runtime environment, maintain definition environment, additional settings and services, classifying the task as general and guided procedures. It will make everything which is mandatory as green. You may also choose to make all the things that are currently shown in red also as green, but that will only happen in a production system. Currently I am working on a development system, so I do not want different background jobs for missed deadlines or items with error, etc. to be running. So currently we have a red cross suggesting that these are not active in the system currently. Okay, so next is you should always maintain the shop number ranges in the maintain definition environment. In the runtime environment, it will configure the RFC destination. It will pick up the same from SN59 transaction, and it will activate the corresponding transactions for different workflow settings so that it goes to the user's inbox in the POW, in the universal worklist settings. That will again everything depend on the RFC destinations. Then you have maintain workflow system administrator. Like we've just discussed the SWIA transaction and its various functionalities. Maintain the active plan version. Only one of the plan versions created in the system can be active. It is seen by the workflow system as the only valid plan version. All workflows supplied are then in the planned version marked are active automatically. For example, you may have different plans which you intend to activate over a period of time. So you can mark the current plan as active, and you can still keep the different plans in the system ready to be used when the client wants the same. Classify the task as general, document generalization form integration, maintain time units, and then the different jobs for different set of work events like missed deadlines, with errors, condition evaluation, etc. Then in maintain definition environment, it will check for the number ranges of the shopping carts and the work items that that are created when you try to approve or reject a shopping cart. There is a definite number which is associated with it. It will check if the same is in the valid range or not. It determines whether the number range for workflow task and customer task is correctly available, and the status may be in error if the client's question was set up in a 2x system using the client copy program. This must have been started in such a manner that content of all the HR tables was not copied. So you must check all these errors to see if the table content that the SAP requires in order to have the workflow being configured and running smoothly are in place or not. Similarly, maintain standard domain for internet mail. You should be having an SMTP compliant system for your mail transfer. So it will check the same from the standard domain for internet mail. And following the classifying the task as general, you can also run these like the testing of the workflow, customizing, unit test, IDOC interface, etc. So this basically would mean only when you will take that much of a pain of connecting a valid system with the SRM system, and that only happens in a production environment, not in a development, or these are settings which we need to do on a system to system basis. So not for every development or a quality environment would these tasks be taking place. Okay, so the basic ones that are shown in green are the mandatory ones and have been correctly configured. So we can move ahead and click on event trigger configuration. Now, what the activities were done in step 1, that is business workflow automatically, are again subsequently checked in the steps which we will now be checking, like the event trigger configuration. So once we click on the event trigger configuration, it will open the next path, next window, which will take us to the screen here. We should check, let's just first go back to our PowerPoint and see where we are. So this is the workflow that we've chosen, process control workflow. As of SRM 7 or higher, the process control workflow is set as a default, and you always have an option to switch to the application control workflow via customizing shown below. Application control workflow, this is something which is wrongly written. As of SRM 7 or higher, the process control workflow is set as default, and you always have an option to switch to process control workflow by customizing shown below. Application control will be selected in a scenario where a lot of development and time was invested in setting up of workflow using the application control workflow. So say for example, you have an application control workflow set up in an SRM 5 version which took probably months to establish. Now once after the upgrade, you do not want all these efforts to be wasted, so you will choose to migrate this application control workflow to SRM 7, and then over a period of time decide and then migrate consequently to a SRM 7 version instead of doing the same activity during the upgradation itself. You can choose to do it later on. This will not delay your upgradation process and would not create roadblocks in terms of implementing the entire workflow again. Okay, let's move on and see what all we have covered now. So we checked the technical settings. There are 3 types: technical settings, PRF, and process control. Technical settings covers the entire technical related configuration, and most configurations are done by the system itself. It includes examples like creation of workflow, RFC, workflow admin, users, etc. We checked all this. Then there is a section which BRF, which covers the settings done to configure the start condition for the workflow and the logic to determine your workflow agent. These are something which needs to be done manually on a client-to-client specific basis. Then we come to business process configuration. It covers the configuration to set up different levels of approval type, who is the workflow agent, and the decision type. Okay, so let's move on to the first one which we discussed, that is automatic SAP business workflow automatically. Configuration have to be done in the provided IMG sequence, and once you click on the red button that is marked here, you'll be able to maintain and activate all these settings automatically. Currently they are shown as red for few and green for a few. Once you click on the same, it will make everything green if you are in a production environment. Okay, then also we have to make sure that you have in the runtime environment a user called as workflow batch. This is the user that carries out all tasks. It is the admin user for the workflow. So first let's go ahead and check in SU01D if you have the workflow batch user activated or not. When I click on display, I see that it is in an active status. It's a workflow system administrator. And when I click on the roles associated with it, I see two roles of an employee and a purchaser. These are the highest role in this system currently, but you may choose to select the search help and choose the SAP all option. Let me just show you the same. There is an SAP all option that we have where you can select and maintain the entire all authorization, or you can choose the SAP admin user authorization for this particular user. We need to ensure that it has got all the roles that have been active in the system. Okay, so I'll click SAP on. Okay, let me just try with all. Okay, so these are the different roles that are there in the system. It will again depend on what are the active ones in your system. You may have to go back and check with your basis person or somebody from the authorization and roles team to assign the SAP all user to this role. In current system, the employee and the operational purchaser are the highest roles that are assigned. So you do not need an admin or SAP all access to this user. For a safer option, you may choose to do so, however. So we saw that you have to add SAP all option to be able to make the user access all the workflow related transactions. Okay, next step, you can verify the workflow that you've done by clicking on the start verification workflow button, that is to the third one. Okay, let's come on to the option that we were discussing. We now check the event trigger configuration. So we'll go back and choose the standard workflow template, that is WS4 5 zeros and 1 4, and let's press on enter. It will open up the new window for you with the standard workflow template. You can study this workflow diagram, although it is quite complicated to understand, but it will give you a brief overview on what the workflow is basically doing. Once the workflow starts, there is a binding process which occurs, and it goes for a parallel review. Now this is split into two parts. The first one being, it will get the observers, that are the reviewers for the process, and the second one states, as we see here, through a flag reset, if it needs to reset the approval process, or it may check for the different approvers, like you see in this example. It might go, so basically from here you will have to understand what the process, how the process is going. There are three steps for this parallel review. First, it may get reviewers, it may check the approver, or the approvers may send it back to the requester. So depending on what are the business processes configured in your system, the workflow will take its own course of action. Okay, let's first check if the settings are in place or not. So for that, let's go back to our PowerPoint and see on how we check the same. We'll go to basic data. Let's go to basic data, and check the active class in the start events. The class which is active is the SAP SRMCL WF PDO, which is the ready for workflow. You will have to check, select on the same and click on